There was this big Animal Crossing leak a little bit ago that kind of came out of nowhere. A random Twitter account that I'd never seen before decided they were going to post about a brand new Animal Crossing game. But are they right? First, we have to look at the legitimacy of this Twitter account. The post didn't mention any normal leak sources that we usually see with unreleased information that ends up being accurate. This person just posted stuff like they have inside information, which is always hard to believe at first. I need someone to have proven themselves and their sources before I get anywhere close to believing anything they say. So I figured why not quickly scroll through their tweets and see if they're worth even paying attention to. I went through a few months of their tweets and noticed that they're actually pretty consistent about talking about video game news. It's not just a random Twitter account that popped up overnight. This person is very clearly passionate about video games and the companies themselves. But none of the tweets are original information from them or their source. They're mostly just patents that are public information or educational guesses about what could be coming in the future, like the addition of the Game Boy to NSO, or how Game Freak is considered a Nintendo partner and therefore would appear in that partner direct that we got a few months ago. But that one's pretty obvious. Also, he was working off of a confirmed Twitter leaker. Of course, Game Freak is a Nintendo partner. Now, if they said that the game that was going to be released was Pocket Card Jockey, wow, then I'd 100% be on their side. I didn't spend the time to go through their entire Twitter account because who has time for that? But at least they're posting legit informative tweets. They aren't just someone who's just posting about random fake leaks all the time. But all it takes is one lie, and I don't believe anything you say for the rest of your life. While their Twitter post seems pretty legit, this looks like the first leak that has originated from them. This is the internet. A lot of people like to make up fake information or rumors just to get a little bit of clout. It's a great way to get followers, especially if you're predicting something that will come to light in a few years down the road. That's so much time for people to wait to prove you wrong, if you are wrong, obviously. There's a lot of time to gain followers without any correct official information debunking any of the stuff that you said. Now, as for what this tweet is telling us. According to the leak, the Animal Crossing devs have a lot of ideas for the next game. This installment is supposed to be an ultimate version, which honestly, it makes a bit of sense if we look at how other Nintendo games have been going lately. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has so much extra content and characters that the game size has doubled since the original release on the Wii U. Smash Bros., literally called Smash Ultimate on the Switch, has a ton of characters and stages. These games are going above and beyond to keep players interested and to continue to improve on each game as the series progresses. The tweet then goes on to list a ton of random features. Some seem really cool, some are incredibly random. I had to use Google Translate to understand everything, which can be hit or miss, but some of these seem pretty accurate and not in broken English that you would expect to see from Google Translate, which makes me think that the translation is probably pretty accurate. I'm not going to go through the specifics this person listed, mostly because I don't want the Nintendo ninjas coming after me. But at first look, these features look like a fun brainstorming session. These are all the things that would be cool to have in an Animal Crossing game, but would probably not be something that actually makes it in. It's like if you sit with your friends in a circle and be like, oh, look at these cool things that I want in this next Animal Crossing game, but it doesn't fit with any kind of theme or really, I don't know, anything. It's just, it would be cool to have. That's what this list feels like. Within the list of various possible mechanics, the poster mentions that some of these concepts were ideas that the devs had in the last game but never made it in for whatever reason. This tweet also reveals that, if any of this is true, Nintendo is planning for a 2026 release along with a series, which I'm not sure exactly what that means. We do have a Nintendo Pictures now, so it could be an animated series, which I'd be down for. But this seems like a weird leak to include, unless they're specifically timing the release of the game with a show, which Nintendo hasn't done yet. Even Fallout, the last Fallout game that came out was Fallout 76, and that was like 6 years ago. And now they have a show. Maybe it's series, like furniture series. I don't know. It could mean anything. At the bottom of the list, the leaker states that everything listed was the basis that was started in a creative brainstorming session prior to the start of development, which confirms basically that most of this will probably change or just not be implemented. Part of the creative process is to just write down everything and anything that comes to mind. You never know what will lead to true inspiration and what is just a fun idea to think about but wouldn't be able to be properly implemented, or maybe just doesn't make sense with the final concept of the game. If these are correct, the new game seems like it'll be a bit more multiplayer focused, which would be good. New Horizons was definitely lacking in that area. Along with the theme of this, there seems to be a lot of city ideas. We've been to a city before, so it's entirely possible. But one day in development, someone could decide that maybe city vibes aren't actually what they want, and they could completely change course. We'll have to wait and see what direction the devs go in, and if this is anything close to what ends up happening. This is one problem with leaks in general, but definitely with this leak in particular. If Nintendo is planning on a 2026 release, that is so far away. We're in 2024, and like early 2024. The next console where this game is presumably coming out on doesn't technically even exist yet. The new hardware is most likely in the manufacturing stage based on other legit leaks that we've seen throughout this, last year or so. What if there's a shortage of parts? What if the prototypes aren't working successfully? There are so many aspects that could go wrong, and that's just with the console itself. Like, if the console gets delayed, the game's getting delayed, so you can't really say 2026 yet. Which is why Nintendo hasn't said 2026 yet. Hello, Metroid Prime 4, where are you at? And not only the console, but the game itself could also have issues. In New Horizons, we had a ton of data mined information shortly after the game released about future plans for the game. Literally stuff in the code that were planned enough to have code. Some of it came true. We got bushes, extra special characters, farming, cooking, just to name a few. But some of it we didn't see at all. Like the standalone Brewster Cafe. We never got that thing. Ideas change as the game develops. The whole point of companies not telling us about features of a game or even a console, things change. Duh. And instead of promising stuff that will never happen, they keep it a secret until they 100% know the feature or mechanic will be included. They don't just do it to be sneaky or to have a secret thing. Oh my god, these people don't know anything and I do. They do it so they don't disappoint us and the shareholders. Shareholders are more important than we are. 2026 is far away. Any and all of this could change tomorrow, especially if all of this came from a brainstorming session and aren't even true mechanics that they're planning. Regardless of the truth, I hope Nintendo takes notes from the parts of New Horizons that can be greatly improved upon. And if this leak does have any truth to it, I'm excited to see what the next game is going to look like. As much as I don't believe that this information is anywhere close to real right now, I kind of hope it is. It's a good start to what could be a great installment into the Animal Crossing series. But until this Twitter account proves itself right, with its own originally sourced information, I'm not believing a word of it. What are you looking forward to most in the next game? Anything from the leak that maybe you like? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!